Yo, what up guys, Brief5D here, and this is a fresh day, a brand new day on the Noob to Pro series. Why? Because this is day 31. We started with an entirely brand new map on the daily login rewards right there, which gave us 500 energy, an exciting day, and we pumped that energy into good use, and I'll show you the reward we got from that energy. But hey, if you're interested, in the thumbnail you saw it that I was going to be talking about the epic champions that are available for the Lonatharil Fusion right now. I'll put timestamps in the video where that part of the video actually begins. I'll not waste your time with the Noob to Pro update. But if you're new to the channel, this is series Noob to Pro. It's a new account we started from day one, of course, and we're currently in the early to mid game level where we are trying to beat content, and finally the end goal is to get to Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss with a killable team, not one of those unkillable teams. That's what the type of goal we set to ourselves. So this is a daily series where I give tips and tricks to newer players or players who are just watching for the story, because this is like a story. We are telling a story of how this account is developing, and it's an interesting one. It's a fun educational one, and welcome aboard, I guess. Now the first thing I wanted to show you what we did with that 500 energy plus all the other energy we had on the account was to push for something that is cosmetic, something that is a flex, something that is not that important, something that I already have on my main account. And I guess you know what I'm talking about. It is the kael skin. Yes, because that skin was available for most players who could push their brackets in the tournament that ended recently. I'm talking about the Dragon Rare Only tournament, where I showed you the Dragon team that I was going to be using to farm it, to see if nobody pushes for it in my bracket. And yes, somebody eventually started pushing, and I had to show him who's boss. So let me talk why these loading screens take too long while I'm recording videos. It's normal, I guess. And yeah, finally I kept the reward. I wanted to wait till the video to claim it so you guys can see it right there for yourself. Dragon tournament has ended. Now if you're unable to get all the fragments you need for this kael skin, don't worry, it will come again in the future. I don't know when or how, but it will be through events like this in the future, and they'll always be releasing skins for rares that are easily obtainable. Even cold heart skin, right? It was easily obtainable from events like this, so they will come back. Don't worry about it. Right there, we did not only get the skin. Somebody said in the comment from the previous video of the Noob to Pro that we have a chance of getting two, I think it's in the poll, we have a chance of getting two ancient shards, and then an epic skill tome, and then a 6-star, no, yes, 6-star 6 pieces relentless set. That's the one that I'm excited the most about. I'm not even interested in this kael cosmetic skin, even if it's our main champion that we're using on the account. So we are supposed to be excited about getting a skin for him, right? Let me claim all right now, and let's head over there and see the 6-star relentless piece. I'm looking for a speed boots. That's something that would get me so excited more than even the skin. 6-star speed boots relentless set is what I'm hoping to get from there. I hope it didn't go to inbox. I hope it came straight into here. Filter and show just new. See, we've been farming the Dragon 13. Now I've been saying to newer players who coming into the raid Shadow Legends that Dragon 13 is not worth farming. This farming that I've done so far, it's kind of telling me that I'm kind of wrong. Well, I will still stick by my goal, or stick by my what I preach. Dragon 13 is not worth farming. I rather put that time and energy into taking my champions to 60 so that I can farm Dragon 16. I'll stick by it. But farming all this Dragon 13 with those rares almost made me reconsider that point. But whenever I get a 4-star, 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 it reminds me of how much 4 stars you get at that Dragon 13 compared to a Dragon 16, where you get a lot of 6-star, 6-star, 6-star pieces more, not even 5 stars. So that's one thing that reminds me constantly that Dragon 13 is not worth farming. Else, most players who are new to the game, your only lifesteal is that beginner one. You're like, ooh, Dragon 13 is awesome. Yes, it did drop all this awesome stuff, but most likely it's not something you need to see flat. Is this speed boots? It's not. So that's what I'm saying. You still end up crashing a lot of this content. That's why I rather do it at a higher level than that lower level. But it did give me some good helmet to that speed right there. All right, we are here for this relentless set. Let's not delay further. And drum roll, please. Will it be speed boots? 3, 2, 1, speed boots. One day though, we keep trying. This is like the third tournament or the second one we've won so far, which has given us relentless sets, and we've not gotten any speed boots on relentless set. But this is HP percentage. I'll take it. HP percentage is useful. I'm hoping the globe is also percentage. It is flat. It is flat. But hey, the weapon, the helmet and shield are always useful for relentless speed. So with these three, you can add just one more and then you have a set of relentless sets. So we have another relentless set, 6-star this time, that is useful for somebody. Artifact enhancement is not on right now, but let's quickly see if we can roll speed on this one, because that's what I need as the main substart for the piece like this. No, it went there. Can we try on 8 and see if we can get it again? And I finally took it to 12 and we got only one row of speed right there. It's still useful. 2 flats right there for the HP percentage. So I guess my excitement was short-lived, but at least we got a useful 4 pieces of relentless set right there. That's why it's good to go for the ones that give you 6 instead of the ones that give you 4, because out of 4 you might get 2 that are bad. Anyways, is there any updates that I have else to share on the Noob to Pro? Yes, we have what's her name, Frozen Banshee, currently farming Minnow. We are not even halfway there, but we are using only free-to-play energy. I've not started using my gems to convert to these scrolls right now. I've not started using gems to refill. Why? Because we are still at level 49. We're close to that 50 mark. So of the game, we are currently at level 49, and we are really edging close so we can get 120 max energy. We are hoping that at 125 we can start using these gems to refill. So I'm using only free-to-play energy right now for that Minotaur farming for Frozen Banshee and other champions that are also needing. Apothecary and Deliana is also getting masteries at the same time. But the main priority right there is for Frozen Banshee to get our full mastery so we can start doing better hits. Maybe 3 key brutal instead of trying to 4 key it on a daily basis. Alright, that's the update on the champion front right there. Nothing else has happened on this account besides me winning that tournament and farming a lot of dragon. I will do a gear cleanse one video soon, but we are not there yet in terms of artifact enhancement, and we don't have enough gears to say we want to do a gear cleanse. This is all mostly trash, and I'll be showing you if anyone's are useful. Alright, that's the only update I have for the Noob to Pro. Now for the main event that you are here for, the thumbnail and all that. This Noob to Pro is not going for this fusion of Lonatharil. So everybody is asking if they should go for some of the epics. I'll tell you straight up without wasting your time. No, do not go for any of the epics, because the event itself is extremely difficult in terms of the events and tournaments you have to do to get that epic. It's not like one of those ones where you just, get stuff done and you get it. No, this one is a little bit more challenging. What do I mean? The first one, if you check out the fusion calendar, this is all what you have to get this champion. This is all what you have to do is to get this champion. So I'm saying it's a lot in terms of the fragments you have to do. There's no to skip and all that. So, but hey, for the purpose of this video, I just want to, for those who really want one of these epics, personally on the Noob to Pro, I've gave you my verdict. I will not be pushing for any of these epics. I have decided that even before knowing if they'll be good. So now let me head over there to their skills and abilities and find out if they'll be good enough to change my mind. As usual, I'll be ranking them in on the scale of 1 to 10, how good they are, and out of these 4, I'll tell you the best one I like out of the entire 4 epics for this fusion. This is approaching it from the Noob to Pro series, of course, so we are only approaching it like this because we are not going for the legendary. If you can go for the legendary, I will recommend you go for this fusion and get the main guy. But we are approaching it for the beginner player who is just starting for 30 days and is looking if it's any of these things he can get. Because he's already doing dungeons, he's already doing spider, he'll be getting champion training points and all that. So you might be getting the fragments one way or the other. But the question is, should you push extra hard for any of them? Now, on the A1 right there for this Anchorite, I will butcher all the names as usual. He has an A1 that has an AoE hit. That is always good because those players are known for being either campaign farmers or for support champions who will put in a stun set. He's a support champion, so we don't expect damage a lot from this A1. So but it is that the damage is based on attack though. So that's the A1 AoE hits. Stun set is what I can think about whenever I see AoE hits like this. But what does the AoE hit actually do? It heals the ally with the lowest HP by 10% of the damage inflicted. For a support champion who doesn't do much damage, you expect him to be healing from damage, because support champions are usually built tanky, usually build HP, usually build defense to survive. So how are they putting a support champion to have damage to hit and heal? That would be a weak heal. That's what I'm trying to say, because if you don't build in with crit rate and crit damage. Let's find out though if it does any damage. Removes one random debuff from all allies, then increase the duration of all allies buff by 1 turn. So you remove one random debuff from us. That's a mini cleanse, just one, and it's on a 3-turn cooldown. Then increase the duration of all ally buffs by 1. So these champions like this are usually used for the clan boss. I can think of what's her name, Sandler Survivor, who does that. Lanakis, is it Lanakis? No, it's not Lanakis. And Godsika Aneri, who also increases the duration of our buffs. So there are champions who already do this, so it's good to have one more adding to that list of champions who can remove one debuff and increase the duration of one of the buffs. All right, that's a mini cleanse, I guess, as you said. Then fully heals a target ally, then places a 30% increase crit rate and increase damage buff on them for 2 turns. As on a 4-turn cooldown. I think we already have an epic champion. I think it's Visionary, I forget, who already does this increased crit rate and increased damage, but I forget if it's on a 3-turn cooldown or not. Remind me. I don't want to switch over and check her out, but hey, I know a lot of champions in the game who already have this. I can even think of Farrakhan the Fat, who has this increased crit damage and all allies join attack. So I'm comparing this champion with already existing champions in the game, and so far in terms of this increased crit rate and increased crit damage, I think there are champions who do it better. That's what I'm trying to say. So with me not being impressed by I'm impressed by the A1, not being impressed by this, no, a little bit impressed by the A2, and then not so impressed by this A3. For a support champion who is doing buff, removal, and this, and then you add this skill, you're like, okay, what is this champion really for? I'm saying his kit is everywhere. His kit is everywhere. He's doing heals that are not too strong because he would not be building for damage. But I guess we'll see if it hits hard based on his multipliers. Increase ally HP in all battles by 25% is huge for an epic champion. It's huge. It's not like 19 or 20%. It's 25% in all battles that you can use him as the leader slot everywhere. But everybody has Deliana these days. If you need HP, you put her in the leader slot. Except they're just starting the game new. Alright. So that's Anchorite. I'll not give him his rating first yet, but so far he's looking like a 4. He's shaky right there. He's looking like a 4 or 5 on my scale right now, out of 10, of course. So the next champion is Wuji, epic champion also, Shadow King. I like the Shadow Kings because they are a new faction in Rachel Elegant, and they are built, their design is awesome because they are not like a joke. They are nothing to joke with. Ninjas are always awesome. I'm not talking about Ninja the champion, I'm talking about in general. They just look badass. So that's the first impression right there for the builds. Let's see if their skills are going to be impressive though. Wuji, cool names too. They always have the coolest names. Attacks A1, attacks the enemy. One enemy with the A1 has a 30% chance of placing weaken, 25% weaken right there. Will target all enemies instead of one when counter attacking with this skill. So you want this champion to be counter-attacking. Reading this, I'm hoping that a kit, one of them, has something to do with counter-attack. I'm hoping to. But we know how to add counter-attacks to our champions if we want them to benefit from their A1. I'm talking about counter-attack accessories. Yes, those ones we buy from the, what do you call it? That place where you buy stuff from the market. I forget what was his name. Then the A2 right there, let's see. Attacks all enemies, has a 55% chance of placing block, buff, debuff for 2 turns. Is it a 3-turn cooldown? No. It should be a 3-turn cooldown and it to be useful. Block, buff, debuff for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown is good. I'm thinking about Sepulchre Sentinel because it's the same thing. Sepulchre Sentinel also has it on a 4-turn cooldown. And yes, this champion just comes to mind. Wait, no. Block, buff, debuff. That's the one you place on the enemy, is not the one you place on yourself. All right. That's not Sepulchre Sentinel. That's what's her name now? Umbriel Enchantress. That's Ugo. Those are the two champions I think have this skill on the lockdown for the epic categories at least. Those two champions just, go crazy with this block buff, debuff, which I put on the enemies, and the enemies is not able to put buffs on themselves. So those are the two champions that do it better. On a 3-turn cooldown, I think Ugo has it on a 3-turn cooldown. But hers lasts for 2 turns though. It goes for 2 turns, but I like Umbriel Enchantress own can go up to what? Sometimes I see it going to 4 turns, 3, 5. Is it 4 turns sometimes on Umbriel Enchantress? I love that champion for this skill. So yes, this is a useful one, but it does nothing else. I want it to do something else for this champion to be worth it. You just place it and that's it. At least with Ugo, you place it and you have decreased defense going along with it. So this block buff, debuff is weak on this champion. That's what I'm trying to say, compared to other ones we already have in the game doing this same skill. So this is not going to be the reason why I bring this champion into battle if I have other better alternatives. Wuji, you almost had it there, but nah. The weaken though is strong. Weaken is strong, especially with that AoE one. Now places a perfect veil buff and a counter attack buff on this champion. I knew it. I knew she was going to benefit from counter attack based on what we saw from that A1. So yes, she does have inbuilt counter attack right there for herself and a perfect veil buff. I don't understand. I just read it. Perfect veil makes you go invisible and then you're not able to be targeted. Why are you placing a perfect veil and a counter attack for 2 turns? And it's on a 3-turn cooldown. That means this champion will not be able to be targeted and her counter attack will not hit. If she's not hit, she will not counter attack. Except maybe by an AoE hit, yes. But a single target hit, when she has perfect veil, she will not be targeted and she will not be doing this counter attack that helps you benefit from this weaken. Why is the perfect veil right there? If you're going to put a counter attack on a champion, you want them to be targeted. You want them to be the magnet to call in the hits so that they can counter attack and benefit you. So this makes absolutely no sense for you to have perfect veil and counter attack on one skill, except you're only going against AoE enemies. That's what I think about this skill. So far, me reading just this skill right there is putting this champion at a 3 out of 10 for me, because remember, this one is also not impressive compared to the other champions who already do this skill in raid Shadow Legends, who always bring something else to the battle besides just placing this, right? Because I think, what's her name, Umbriel Enchantress will place it and put herself on unkillable. What else does she do with it? Okay, she had other things that are also useful, I guess. And Aura, increase ally attack in all battles by 20%. All right, let's rush over to the last 2 ones so we don't make this video too long. Wuji, a 3 in my books right now. And the third one is Kaeliana. And this champion is a support champion also. That's the second support champion we're seeing right here. Ooh, she has 3 skills and a passive. Hopefully this champion will be better than the other ones. On the A1, attacks one enemy, 40% chance of placing HP bond debuff for 2 turns. How long? 40% chance. Can it be booked to what? 50-60% chance. A1. It's okay for an epic. It's okay. You can't expect it to be 100% HP bond when Brogni can't even place his own 100% all the time on this A1. All right. Attacks all enemies on the A2, has a 55% chance of placing decreased attack. I thought that was decreased defense. Debuff for 2 turns. This debuff cannot be resisted by targets under HP bond. So if your A1 HP bond is unreliable, why do you have a decreased attack that cannot be resisted when you're not doing an AoE HP bond? So it's expected that AoE HP bond is already out there before this champion will go in with this decreased attack. That means you might not need high accuracy on this champion to land this decreased attack if you already have somebody like a Drexter doing his HP bond on everybody. So, but I can't think of any wave other than the Hydra where this might be useful, because you're already placing HP bond on them as one of the best ways to do damage. So this what it feels like, that as long as they have HP bond going on them, this decreased attack will always place. And when you don't need high accuracy to place this decrease attack, it will always be available right there. That's what I think. All right, on the A3, decrease the duration of all debuff on all allies by 1 turn, then places a 50% strengthen, that is small strengthen buff, on all allies for 2 turns. This debuff cannot be removed or stolen. So 50% strengthen, it might look small for you, but the higher one I think is 25%. It might look small, but the fact that it cannot be removed or stolen, this is also screaming Hydra champion right there. So I guess this champion is built for the Hydra, is set to be used in the Hydra, because if it cannot be removed or stolen, and strengthen is very useful to keep you alive right there. But that's for newer players who are just coming in, like my account. Day 60, day 80, most players who have been playing the game for a long time already have better champions to keep their allies alive or resist and all that, so their even buff cannot even be removed. All right, let's find out if the passive make this champion any better. Every time an enemy under HP bond debuff gets a turn, decrease the duration of 2 random buffs on that enemy by 1 turn. Hydra again. So whenever they steal our buffs or whatever and they take a turn, the duration of, is it a chance? No, it will happen. Every time it will happen. There is no cooldown on this skill. Whenever those enemies that have buff take a turn, if they are under HP bond, of course, their duration of any buff on them will be reduced by 1 turn. 2 random buffs, not just 1, 2 random buffs. Usually they have a lot of buff and spread it to themselves. So this is strictly a Hydra champion. That's what this champion is meant for. But if you have better options in terms of legendary and all that, you might not be building this champion. If you are new to the game and this is the first time you're getting a champion and you don't even have all your Hydra teams together, right? There you go. You have 1 more to add to your Hydra teams. All right, that's what I think about Kalinia. There you go. I finally read the name correctly. Resist again in all battles by 35. So they are really trying to make you use this champion in the leader slot. It is not restricted to only dungeons or arena or whatever. Or Doom Tower. The last one, I'm rushing, yes. Yelagena, an attack champion, not a support champion this time. Hopefully this one will be a nuker from the Ox faction. Awesome design right there, almost looking like Sia, but not quite, almost. On the A1, attacks 1 enemy 2 times, places 50% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns if this attack kills an enemy. That condition is lame, so you can't place increased attack on yourself unless your A1 kills an enemy. And how many A1s do you know kill an enemy? You should put this increased attack before you kill an enemy, I guess. Unless somebody else places this increased attack, then she kills an enemy, then gets her own increased attack. It makes no sense. That skill right there. AoE, hit light right here, to 75% chance of landing it, booked to 100% of placing that decreased attack, AoE decreased attack. Now, this is a better decreased attack champion than the previous one we just saw, because you have no condition for letting it go, for letting it happen. It will happen right there. HP bond doesn't have to be out there. So it's for 2 turns, right? That decreased attack, it should always be for 2 turns, yes. Now on the A3, attacks 1 enemy, 75% chance of placing block, buff, debuff. That's skill again. But this time, check out, it comes with block active skills debuff for 2 turns also. Now that's what I'm talking about right there. And it's also on a 3-turn cooldown. This is what I'm talking about. You have block, buff, debuff, and something else. That is what makes the champion better than just a champion who plays block, buff, debuff. So it's a clear difference between the two, doing the same skill and having something else added to it. This is better one. Already, I'm ranking. Did I rank the other one? I think I did. On the passive, revise 1 random ally with 50% HP every time this champion kills an enemy. That's a reviver also. So some people are already comparing this champion to other revivers we have in the game. The sole purpose of this champion is not to be a reviver in your teams. I'm thinking of faction wars, yes, but I don't think this champion is built to be a reviver. It's built to be a damage dealer, and the best skill right here is this one. Oh wait, this is not AoE. This is a single target. I was hyping it and say it's better. Nah. The other one is AoE, right? Let me quickly check. Hold on. Was it Wuji that has that skill? Right here. So this is AoE, what that is single target. So my bad right there. Wuji, this one is better than a single target one. Right there. It's also the 3-turn cooldown. 3-turn cooldown, right? No, this is a 4-turn cooldown because it's AoE, I guess. And yeah, so no, Yelagena, your block buff debuff is not the best because it's a single target, and I'm over here hyping it. 3-turn cooldown though, but I do have a champion, Lydia. So maybe a mini Lydia. Once Lydia takes this skill and puts on somebody, I'm like, yes, that person is out of the battle. So it's not an entirely extremely useful and useless skill. It's also useful in most battles to take out one champion that you just don't want. So I'm thinking arena champion, wave content right there for you to control and also to nuke. The passive also will revive when this champion kills, which will happen a lot if you're building this champion for attack. All right, pass and the aura, increase ally attack, faction world champion. Okay, see, they want this champion to be in faction world, just like I originally thought when I saw this skill. All right, so far I'm impressed by Yelagena, and it seems like it's going to be extremely difficult to get this champion. Let me find out. That's Kaliana right here. Okay, you don't need a summon rush to get Yelagena. Nice. You only need champion training, classic arena, dragon, artifact enhancement, and dungeon divers 3. 2 dungeon divers. 2 dungeon divers to get this champion is not worth it, because dungeon divers are extremely difficult to complete because of the amount of dragon or the amount of ice golem, or the amount of dungeons you have to run to get them is extremely difficult. So this champion seems like the best one for me, for my noob to pro, for my for my beginner account. This seems like the best one, but it seems like because of these 2 dungeon divers, it's going to be extremely difficult to get it. The second one, so I'm going to give her like a 7 out of 10, while Wuji and the rest are hanging around 5 right now. All right, that's my final verdict on these champions for this fusion that is currently going on. Let me know what you think about this initial assessment. I've not tested them out in the game. This is just judging based on their skills, and of course I will most likely be wrong when I finally try them out in the game. Or if you have any other reasons why you should go for one or over the other, let me know in the comments. I'm always looking to learn from you guys. Also, Wuji looks cool. I would love Wuji, but it seems like this champion Yelagena will do more for my team Noob to Pro than any of them right now in this team. All right, you guys, let me know what you think about this one. Remember, like I said, I am not going for any of these epics. This video was simply to check them out, understand what they do, so that when I see them in the game, I will say, oh, this is this champion that does this, even if I will forget. But at least I'll be able to know what they do, because Raid brings new champions out all the time, and it is my job to know what they are and what they do in the game. All right, I think I got a little bit of information right now about them, but I'll not be going for any of them. Hit that like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and see you guys for tomorrow's Noob to Pro update, I guess. Good night, guys.